Best-selling author and psychologist Daniel Goleman has spent years researching the dangers of power-seeking spiritual leaders and the perils of groupthink. Is there a difference between spirituality and religion? I love the story. Can you tell? I know you know there is a difference. Can you tell us a story about God walking down the street with a devil?
So God and Satan are walking down the street,
Yeah.
and God bends down and she picks something up and it's translucent and glowing in her hand, and Satan says, "Hey, what's that?" God says, "This is the truth." Satan says, "Let me have it, I'll organize it for you." And I really believe that I think that truth, I think that finding your real connection with a higher force is very personal. I don't think we need organizations to manage it for us.
Do some people need organizations?
I think organizations can help,
Yeah.
for sure. You know, I start this book, Emotional Intelligence, with the story of a man who was a bus driver
Yeah.
in Manhattan, who, I got on the bus on a very hot, humid day in August. It was awful, and I didn't want to talk to anybody, no interaction, like everybody else in the
Right.
city. And I get on the bus, he looks at me, he says, "How's your day been?" He really looked at me. That kind of shook me up, and he
Yeah.
spoke to me. Then I noticed he's talking to everybody on the bus. "Oh, you're looking for suits? There's a great sale here. Did you hear about the movie in the cinema here? The great Matisse show on people get off that bus, and he'd say, "Oh, have a wonderful day." And they say, "Thank you." He was an urban saint, that man, spreading good feeling in a city that really needed it. But I later found out he was a pastor of a church in Long Island. He saw the people on his bus as his flock. He felt that they were his people, so he naturally reached out. He naturally connected.
He was ministering and with
As
every
he was
encounter.
driving the bus.
Yeah.
And the lesson for me, and this has to do with your earlier question, what can we do? It doesn't matter what we're doing supposedly, it's how we do it. You can always use that interaction to help the other person, even if you're just helping them feel a little better. That's an act for good. There's one of my favorite sayings is that nobody knows enough to be pessimistic.
Interesting. Nobody knows enough to be pessimistic. All right, explain that.
Okay, well, something good could happen that you don't know about. For example, I'm very passionate about the impact of human behavior, human activities, the things we buy and do on the systems that support life and the planet. When we buy something, if you look at its history, its whole life cycle, it degrades in some way or in many ways the systems of their technical systems support life. And you could say, well, we're in slow motion suicide. That's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is, you know what? We need to reinvent everything. Young people today are very creative. In the future, things can happen. We could do things differently in a way that will be compatible with nature. We didn't know the impacts when we invented, this glass. Well, this glass is made with Bronze Age technology. You take some sand and add chemicals and heat it at very high temperature for a long time, and it has huge negative impacts over its life cycle, particularly if you think of all the glasses made. However, there are totally different ways to get to the same thing, a container for liquid. And let's let future generations come up with that and change the course. Instead of us being on this, doom and gloom, we can be hopeful. So that's a way in which pessimism means you just don't know what's going to happen.